Diyan nakatuon ang publiko ngayon eh. Kay Speaker Martin, tsaka kay Congressman Zaldico.
Wala pang nag-file ng kaso against him na may ebidensya. Yun ang hinahanap natin eh.
Kasi ikaw pina-open mo na yung SALN, di ba? So bakit hindi nasimulan man lang doon? Kasi tuloy ang tingin ng mga Duterte supporters. Tama nga si Senator Amy, plan dito. You're in government and you're an appointee of the President.
I am an appointee of the President. But wag naman. Wag niyo ako pag-isipan ng ganyan. Hindi ko gagawin yun. Nagsimula sila lumaki 2016. So hahanapin mo ngayon yung koneksyon. 800 billion kagad. Tapos pagkatapos doon, billion-billion na ang kontrata.
Tax evasion is
And
legal?
tax avoidance.
It's legal?
Tax avoidance is legal, but not tax evasion. And bending the law is not breaking the law, Luchi.
Wow,
If you ask me, Ombudsman Martinez already released a decision in 2019 that nobody knew about except him and maybe Joel Villanueva. Silang dalawa lang may alam.
So wala na yan ngayon?
Hindi pa kami tapos.
Pwede pa ba ma-reverse?
Dan-aganBalita News Update.
Alam mo, ang tingin sa'yo ng marami ngayon, you're a political appointment. More than anything else, you were, the perception at least, is that you were appointed by the President to provide cover for him and for those close to him.
I think that ano naman yan. It's a natural way to think for the political enemies or those who doubt the sincerity of the President. Pero ang tingin ko naman, nilagay niya ako rito kasi nakita niya yung problema. Alam niya yung aking kapasidad na ayusin ang mga problema ng bayan.
Okay, right now, in the midst of the ongoing flood control project anomaly, na napakabigat. And nung nagsimula ito, Ombudsman, ang focus ng lahat ay yung House Speaker kasi yung si Congressman Zaldico, Chair of the Appropriations Committee, appointee niya, no? Sabihin na natin.
Siya pumili nun?
Yes.
Siya pumili ng Chairman ng Appropriations?
Yes. And to this day, ang perception ay silang dalawa talaga ang promotor ng lahat ng ito. You agree with that?
Ano yan eh? If there's a mistake of omission or sabihin natin omission, ito na yon. It's the worst that ever happened.
What omission was that?
Hindi kailangan niya parindigan yung kanyang pagpili kay Zaldico. Ayun na nakikita ko. Kasi kung liability lang, kailangan dalhin talaga yung ebidensya. Mahirap magdemanda na walang ebidensya, Luchi. Yan ang justice natin. Para magsampa ka ng demanda kahit kaninong tao, ebidensya hinahanap ko. Yun naman ang tema namin kahit sa DOJ. Hindi kami nagpa-file ng kaso pag walang ebidensya. Yun lang sinasabi ko sa mga tao na talagang sobrang galit. Huwag kayong magagalit. Gawin nyo yung trabaho nyo maghanap ng ebidensya. Yung galit, masisira lang yung diskarte nyo dyan. Huwag kayong magagalit.
So wala pa bang nakikitang ebidensya doon sa mga
wala pang lumalabas, wala pang talagang
well, yung driver na naghatid ng basura, hindi ba testimony yun na direct?
Nawawala nga yung hindi driver yun. Yung taong yun na kasama, nawala, hindi sumipot sa DOJ. At yun nga yung naging problema. Sabi niya, gusto niya magpa-witness protection program. Nung tinanong siya, parang hindi niya naintindihan yung binasa niya. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa siya sumisipot ulit.
So, hindi ka naniniwala?
Parang may kalabuan. Kailangan natin na mas talagang makikipag-usap ng mata sa mata. Kasi, ito, mailap masyado. Tsaka, yung binasa niya, kababasa niya lang na kanyang sinumpaang salaysay. Tapos, pagkatapos nun, nung tinanong siya tungkol sa kanyang sinumpaang salaysay, ang sabi niya, hindi niya raw kailangan ng witness protection program. Pero yun ang kanyang sinabi, na dahilan kung bakit siya na ron humaharap para raw magkaroon siya ng witness protection.
Okay. So, anong basa mo ron? Dinikta sa kanya yon, pinigay sa kanya yon?
Pinapirmahan sa kanya yon, hindi niya nababasa yon.
Nino?
Kung sino man, nag-ooperate. May operator na.
Well, si Senator Marcoleta ang nagdala sa kanya nun eh.
Pero may nagsabi sa akin na mayroon pang iba. Isa ng operator na dati within the Malacanang circle and within the political circle.
Okay. So, hindi ka naniniwala doon, in effect, and you're not going to
Kasi
pursue him anymore?
sana sumipot siya eh. I have too much to do, Luchi. Kung dyan ako yun ang pagdidiskutahan ko, baka maubos ang oras natin sa kakahabol ng ibang tao pa. Marami tayong kailangang habulin. Hindi lang yan ang ating interes. Kasi nga, meron naman siyang handler. Idalhin na lang sa atin ulit. Para makausap natin, di ba?
Pero kasi dyan nakatuon ang publiko ngayon eh. Kay Speaker Martin, tsaka kay Congressman Zaldico. Na
alam ko.
ang feeling ng lahat, ay wala na. Natapos na ang Senate Blue Ribbon hearing. Sa Congress, wala rin kasi wala namang credibility dahil sabi nga nila, karamihan ng proponent nandun sa Kongreso and sa Senate also.
Wala pang nag-file ng kaso against him na may ebidensya. Yun ang hinahanap natin eh. Paano mo ididiin ang tao na wala kang ebidensya?
So, anong sinasabi? Pero ikaw, nung nasa Justice Department ka, pati yung mga missing sabongeros, nagawan mo, talagang nangako
may
from the
ebidensya
start
yun eh.
na
May testigo tayo.
hahanapin mo yung
May
mga
testigo
yun,
tayo
diba?
doon na tumatayo, tumitindig, at hindi umaatras.
So
at
dito,
hindi nagtatago.
yeah, I know, but dito, ang sinasabi mo, wala.
Sana
testigo.
bumalik si Gutesa. Bumalik siya. At patutuhanan niya yung sinabi niya. Yun pa lang eh. Sana meron pa ibang sumipot.
What about, kunyari, lifestyles? Kunyari, si Congressman Zaldico. I mean, sa lifestyle pa lang, alam na nating lahat na, teka lang, parang nakaw talaga lahat yan. Ang dami mo aeroplano, di ba?
Matagal ng kontratista
At
yan.
na-freeze pa nga.
Panahon pa ni GMA, alam ko kontratista na yan.
So you're saying that he got
Hindi,
all of that before...
Pero ako, hindi ako natutuwa sa kanya. Hindi ako natutuwa sa kanya. Kasi nga, nakasama ko yan eh. Magkasama kami sa Kongreso eh. Pero, nung ako'y lumipat na sa Justice, hindi ko na sila nakita. Ang alam ko lang, siya lang kasama ni Speaker. Pero hindi na kami nag-usap ulit o hindi na kami nagkasama sa kahit anong bagay. Maliban sa, meron siya pangingialam sa ibang mga kontrata na hindi ko nagugustuhan. At sinasabi ko talaga yun.
Pero kanino ba yung anak sa Solicitor General ba nakaatang yan, yung mga lifestyle halimbawa?
Hindi, dito yan.
Kasi
Oo,
ikaw nga,
kaya-
pina-open mo na yung SALN,
Oo,
di ba?
oo, oo.
So bakit hindi nasimulan man lang doon? Na ito lang ang kita mo eh, Congressman,
Hindi, meron
di ba?
meron na kaming ginagawa dyan. Kaya lang, Luchi, alam ko na inip na ang taong bayan, pero deliberate tayo rito. Hindi tayo pwedeng padalos-dalos. Kailangan dito, pinag-isipan mo ang bawat hakbang para kung kukunin mo, makuha mo talaga. Baka mamaya padalos-dalos ka, madapa ka dyan, eh, hindi mo naman makuha yung gusto mo. Meron na kami hakbang na ginagawa. Sigurado ako ron.
Okay, pero sabi ni Bongo, bakit nililihis mo sa kanila? Bakit bumabalik na naman doon sa mga Duterte? Sila muna, unahin ito. Bakit yun? Kasi tuloy ang tingin ng mga Duterte supporters. Tama nga si Senator Amy, Plan B to. Kailangan hindi manalo si Sara Duterte, so ipitin natin.
Bakit maglalagay ng kaduda-dudang personalidad na, klaro naman, politiko naman yan. Hindi naman yan na maaring maging, anong sinabi, recognized probity and independence. Mukhang plantsadong-plantsado na. Kung hindi makakalusot yung impeachment, nako yung plan B, diretso na tayo sa plan C. Plantsyado na ang lahat.
Ako wala akong pakialam sa politika ngayon. Wala na ako sa politika, Gucci. Wala na akong pakialam sa politika.
No, but the fact that you're in government and you're an appointee of the president.
I am an appointee of the president, but I was put in a constitutional body which decides the fate of all Filipinos. Hindi to isang bagay na lang. Wag naman. Wag niyo ako pag-isipan ng ganyan, hindi ko gagawin 'yon.
So what was the reason behind the charges now against Bongo, against the father of Bongo, yung si LTG ba yan?
Ano na yan eh, may kaso na dati final dyan si Senator Trillanes eh. Hawak ko na yan a year ago. I mean, final nila sa DOJ. Kaya lang, nung final niya sa NPS yan, nagpunta yan, yung papeles niyan, sa Prosecutor General, na appointee ni Pangulong Duterte. Ang ginawa niya, imbis na pakita sa Secretary of Justice, diniretso niya rito sa Ombudsman. Hanggang ngayon, hinahanap ko yung file dito, hindi ko mahanap eh.
Which means hindi final.
Hindi ko alam, pero yun ang eksaktong kaso na final ni Trillanes noong isang araw.
So bakit yun naman ang una mong inatupag din? Dahil
Hindi ko
nandiyan na.
unang inatupag yan. Dahil
Kasi yun ang unang lumabas na first
issue,
move mo eh.
Luchi. That's a flood control issue sa mga diskaya. Pag-aralan mo ang diskaya, kung kailan sila lumaki, at sa kanyang mga sagot. Nagsimula sila lumaki 2016. So hahanapin mo ngayon yung connection. Diba, paano ka lumaki? Ang unang kontrata niya, CLTG, malaki. First contract niya na malaki, CLTG. Oh, di mo pag-iisipan yun? 800 billion kaagad. Tapos pagkatapos doon, billion-billion na ang kontrata. Siyempre, natural lang na pag-iisipan mo yun.
Well, natural din, syempre, na pag-isipan na kung si Martin tsaka si...
Kasi nasa flood control yung Diskaya eh.
Yes.
Diba? Oo. Flood control projects din yun eh.
Okay.
Eh, doon nagsimula ang lahat eh.
Yes,
Yung
that's
impunity ng corruption ay talaga lumala nung panahon na yun. Doon lumala talaga. Kaya umabot yan sa family hanggat umabot dito. Isang mahabang kasaysayan yan, Luchi. Huwag mo puputulin. Magkakasama lahat yan. Yan ay lahat related.
So parang sinasabi mo yung flood control projects na umabot sa 1.3 trillion since 2012, na karamihan nga ay nangyari din ito lang nakaraang 2-3 taon, di ba? Ay just a fraction of it, and so...
Basta, ang sinasabi ko dito, Luchi, the impunity of corruption started when the Ombudsman fell silent. Nung wala na talagang naimbestigahan, wala na talagang naging trabaho na nakikita ng tao, parang nakikita rin ng mga nag-aabuso ng poder, wala namang check sa atin, gawin na natin itong kalokohan na to. Nagkaroon ng impunity yung corruption eh. Isang dahilan niya kung ba't ginusto ko nang pumunta rito. Kasi nga, sa DOJ, nung ako'y secretary pa, nakaramdam din ako na meron pa rin gustong makialam sa mga bagay na hindi dapat pinakikialaman, na mahalaga sa bansa natin. Pero meron pa rin gustong makialam at talagang hindi ko na matiis yun.
What do you mean? Sino yun? It's too vague.
Salty ko. Nakialam siya sa amin eh.
Paano nakialam?
Basta alam ko, meron siyang kontratang gustong pakialaman sa immigration. Eh, hindi talaga ako pumayag. Hindi talaga ako pumayag. I was willing to resign. Pag ako hindi na-uphold doon, hindi na ako magtutuloy.
Anong gusto niya mangyari?
Basta ano yun, sa e-gates yun. Gusto niyang dekwatin yung kontrata na dapat para sa taong bayan. Ano yan, komplikado yan, Luchi, but that kind of impunity has to stop. Kaya nga, talagang sabi ko, gusto ko na lang mag-ombudsman, ayoko na nito. Kasi hanggang dito, napapasok na ako eh. Secretary of Justice na ako, napapasok pa ako. Paano pa yung iba?
Napapasok? What do you mean? I'm
Pinapasok
sorry for the
na.
terminology.
Walang takot eh. Hindi na takot. Bali wala. Basta they do it because they can do it. Yun ang pakiramdam nila.
As in, pinapakialaman nila
Oo,
yung na
pinapakialaman
dapat
nila.
hands-off sila dyan.
Yes. Siyempre, pet project natin yan. Mukha ng Pilipinas yan. E-gates yan. Immigration counters natin yan. Mukha ng Pilipinas yan.
Ano gusto niya mangyari dapat doon? Gusto niya kanya yung kontrata nung alin?
Basta pinakikialaman nila in a sense that it was supplier-driven ang ginagawa nila. Pinipilit nilang ilagay
Yung
in
mga
terms
tao
of
nila.
reference na sila lang ang papasa sa bidding. Hindi pwede yun eh.
Sa bidding ng equipment?
Oh, e-gates. Oh.
Yung nilalagyan natin ng passport para
Yun.
makapasok?
Oh.
Why did they want that?
Pera.
It's just money?
Yes.
It's not so they can have more Chinese
Kasi
people or whatever.
meron silang
from-
kliyente siguro na meron siguro silang kickback. Hindi ko na tinatanong yon. Basta nakita ko, gusto nilang pakialaman yon.
Really? Okay, so you couldn't do anything as Secretary of Justice?
Basta nagsawa na ako. Sabi ko, hindi na pwede sa akin to. Kasi, I go to work every day. Tinataya ko buhay ko araw-araw. Sabay yun ang gagawin nyo sa akin. Hindi pwede sa akin yan.
And so now that you're ombudsman, are you in a better place to do that?
I think so.
How?
I
What
have-
can the ombudsman do that the Secretary of Justice cannot?
Punish erring officials. Investigate them. File cases against them. Prosecute them. Put them in jail. The Secretary of Justice cannot do that.
They can only prosecute.
They can only do that against private persons. Except for crimes committed by police officers that are chargeable to us. That we prosecute ourselves.
Okay, sabihin ng iba, paano namin malalaman na hindi mo naman tatargetin ang mga political enemies mo?
I'm beyond that, Gucci. Ano na to eh. I think that's too cynical. I think that's lack of respect for what I am and what I've been. I think that's a totally out of this world remark. I take offense on that.
Well, my apologies.
I really take offense because it's
But that's
not
the
right.
perception,
Yeah, but
no?
it's not right.
Hindi kasi maaalis nga yung, siguro yun na nga, babalik
May talaga
ako
hindi
dun sa
maaalis yan kasi nga, ang agenda ng politika ng ibang tao hindi naman titigil eh. So I don't have to explain myself. I just do what I do. Hindi ko na kailangan paliwanag yung tingin ko tama para sa bansa. Kung kailangan kong paliwanag yung araw-araw, hindi ko na magagawa trabaho ko.
Okay, so with the e-gates, you think you can do something about what Zaldico was doing?
Ano na ngayon? Maandar na ngayon. Meron na, nung nawala sila sa picture, yun na, meron na. Ang nangyari dyan, nung NAIA Corporation was the one that purchased the e-gates. Ngayon, tuloy-tuloy na.
So natalo siya sa bidding?
Hindi na
Kumbaga,
siya,
award.
hindi na nakapasok. Hindi na namin binidyan. Nag-volunteer na lang ang new NAIA na sila na lang bumili ng e-gates. Kaya lang, kailangan namin ayusin yung system para talagang kompleto sa passenger information, tsaka et cetera. All the tawag dito, biometric features that it contains.
Okay, so now, you're seeing his involvement again. Sabihin na lang natin, pakikialam na naman niya.
Oo! Doon ako nagalit na talaga. Sabi ko, ayoko na. Hindi na pwede to. Kaya nag-apply ako ng ombudsman. Mga June yun eh. Hindi pa lumalabas ang speech ng presidente. Sa mahiya naman kayo. Sinabi ko na gusto ko na mag-ombudsman.
So are you intent on catching the thieves in this flood control
Well,
project?
this is already legacy setting, Luchi. I do not even mistake me for a politician who just wants pogi points. This is out of this world because what we do here is we just go to work every day to catch the bad guys, and you make really real enemies here. It's not very enjoyable, but we have to do it.
But what if it goes far, far above Zaldico? Are you ready?
Basta the evidence is there. Wala naman akong ano eh, basta the evidence is there. If it stares you in the face, can you say it's not true? Hindi naman ganun eh. Evidence is evidence. Kaya nga, I think that the political angle is getting too much.
Yes.
I think they're just too afraid that they have their own skeletons that they're trying to guard against. Baka lumabas. Ganun lang naman yun eh.
Okay, so how hard or easy is it to actually gather the evidence needed to pin down the real thieves here?
Slowly we can do it. It's not as fast as we want it to be, but the process has to happen. We're injecting new life and a new style of leadership here, and hopefully the people here in the office of the Ombudsman are there already, knowing that this is my leadership style, and I'm just gung ho, and I just want to work every day, and that everything is urgent, and the deadline is always yesterday.
How will you change it considering si Congressman Jokno was saying na nung tinignan nila yung files, halimbawa nung Sandigan Bayan during the budget hearing, he discovered that there were still 10 cases na hindi pa tapos ang trial since 1987.
Oh.
And then 200 others since early 2000s.
Hindi, kaya nga, yung inordinate delay has cost us so much. Talagang sumobra na. The lawyers have had a field day practicing their law and their dilatory tactics. Sobra na eh. Kaya nga, ang pinag-uusapan na namin sa Sandigan Bayan, rules on continuous trial. That's why we're elevating the standard to reasonable certainty of conviction. Para pag final namin, ready na kami, kaya namin ilatag yung kaso namin in one continuous trial. Para wala ng postponement.
Pero Ombudsman Boying, alam naman natin yung mga lawyer, ang daming mga delaying
Pero
tactics.
pero it has to stop somewhere. I think that the Supreme Court knows how critical this is. How critical the judiciary is in settling this matter. Because remember, Luchi, we're not the only ones who make up the justice system. It's not just the Ombudsman. It's not just the Department of Justice. Half of that is the courts.
Kaya nga, are
Okay
they
nga.
all on board?
I hope so.
And are they
And
all
I've had
nationalists?
I've had dialogue with them. I've had dialogue with the... Well, I've spoken to the Chief Justice in the past. But recently, I spoke with Senior Associate Justice Leon, and who I swore to in my oath as an ombudsman. I've spoken with Justice Ekong, the presiding justice of the Sandigan-Bayan.
Hindi nga raw realistic yung 60 days, sabi ng mga lawyers.
Well, that's what they say. But in DOJ, we do it. 60 days.
60 days with a decision?
No, 60 days. Preliminary investigation.
Okay, and then,
that's a
paano
deadline.
yung-
Pero it doesn't even have to reach that. Hindi
Yes.
naman kailangan
It can be
lumatag ng ganun
earlier.
kasi nga, kagaya nung submission ng DOJ dito, kompleto na yun eh. Ang kailangan na lang, counter affidavit na lang, joinder of issues, resolution na yun. File na kagad yun.
O pag-file, dun na. Courts na, di ba?
Courts na.
O paano yun?
Motion for continuous trial.
How long would that take?
Maybe during the pre-trial, baka gusto nila mag-plea ng guilty. Pag-usapan namin. Di ba? With the court. Pero kung hindi, then we will lay down everything. Alam mo, Luchi, kung talagang aaraw-arawin ng kaso, walang 2 linggo yung presentation of evidence. Kayang gawin yan.
Pero sabi nga nila, kulang din ng judges.
Hindi totoo yun. Sandigan-Bayan, walang kaso ngayon. They have no cases now. Two weeks ago, nag-raffle sila. Only 2 cases were raffled off.
So, ba't ang dami nilang backlog?
Hindi ko alam.
What
Beats me,
kaya nga?
but their caseload is very light right now. I'm telling you that. Wala namang final masyado yung ombudsman the past 7 years.
The other thing that you actually announced, you asked Senate President Soto to let go of Joel Villanueva, Senator.
May problema tayo dyan ngayon.
Oh, yan. Paano mo gagawin
Kasi,
yan?
when I got to the office this morning, kasi umaga yung kinausap ko si Karen Davila. When I got to the office, binigay sa akin yung desisyon ni Ombudsman Martires na ni-reverse niya yung ruling ni Conchita na hindi natin nakikita. Walang nakakita nun eh. No, but it's never been made public. Ni-reverse niya raw in 2019. He released a statement. So nahanap ko yung desisyon. So ngayon, pinag-uusapan namin. We're studying the circumstances of the decision. We're looking at the theory, embracing the decision.
So, binabawi mo na ba yung request mo kay Senator?
Hindi, anong susulat ko kung inakwit siya kung ni-reverse ni Ombudsman Martires yung kaso? Di wala ka tayong i-enforce.
So, what are your thoughts on this? The Ombudsman's
Well, it
office and
sucks.
how it has been.
It sucks. Yung bagay na yun, di ba? Ang sama eh. The whole time, hindi sila nagsasalita. Ngayon, ganoon nga, si Joel Villanueva has been quiet about it. Sinasabi niya that he's being harassed. Pero ba't tayo niya sabihin na that thing has been reversed? Ba't hindi niya sinalabas yun? Tama ba yun? Di ba? Ba't hindi lumabas yan sa ating lahat? People of may interest yan sa taong bayan. Binoto natin ng tao. Tapos, ganon? Tatago mo sa amin yung totohanan?
So, as it stands now,
Kaya
wala
ngayon,
na.
pinapareview ko lahat ng admin cases dito. Titignan namin talaga, gagawa na kami ng table. Kaya nga, digitizing is so important. Para lahat, sequentially, makikita mo lahat ang action dito. Walang digital, wala pa sa digital world dito eh.
So, okay. So, pero kunyari yung power na yun, ombudsman pala has the power to actually kick out unimpeachable.
Hindi, ano yan? Basta impeachable officer, kahit na meron kang penalty na i-impose, you cannot enforce it until after the term of the office of the person.
Okay, so in the case of, for example,
Like
si Senator Joel.
Senator Joel,
Oo.
2016, Ombudsman's decisions stand in our legal system.
Exactly.
Kasi nga, what is more important, the Constitution and the law or the rules of the Senate?
Yeah.
What's
Of course, the
superior?
Constitution and the law.
Oh,
No question about
we will
it.
have to ask the Supreme Court about it. Kasi nga, ito nga, we want to create a justiciable controversy, but we were upended by the fact that Ombudsman Martires already released a decision in 2019 that nobody knew about except him and maybe Joel Villanueva. Silang dalawa lang may alam.
So, wala na yan ngayon.
Hindi pa kami tapos.
Pwede pa
Pag-aaralan
ba
pa.
ma-reverse yun? Ulit?
Hindi, pag-aaralan namin. We might have to refile the case.
Oh,
Wala
really?
naman double jeopardy yan eh.
Ganun ba?
Wala.
Pag-ombudsman?
Wala double jeopardy yan.
But he can always appeal, right?
Oo, syempre.
So,
He has his
tapagan pa rin
lawyers. He can do their work and I can do my work.
Sorry, during the hearing, I have to ask you this. When Senator Erwin Tulfo was angry he actually declared loudly that
You bend the law?
yes, sometimes you have to bend the law. And he asked you, tama ba? And you said yes.
Sometimes you have to bend the law to be able to please the people. Mas mataas po ang taong bayan sa batas. Am I right, Secretary Remulla?
Yes, sir.
Lucy, a person in the height of
When
passion...
can you bend the law?
No. Let me listen to this. A person at the height of passion, do you want to argue with him? You don't want to argue with him in his territory. And besides, he said bend the law. There's tax evasion and tax avoidance. Tax evasion is legal. And bend the law is not breaking the law.
Tax evasion is
And
legal.
tax avoidance.
It's legal.
Tax avoidance is legal, but not tax evasion. That's
What's
bending the
difference?
law.
What's the difference?
It's the devices lawyers make so that the taxes won't stick.
So I can avoid paying taxes.
Tax avoidance meaning to say you fall under a lesser category, so the tax is not as big as it should be.
It's still illegal though.
No. These are legal devices. And bending the law is not breaking the law, Lucy.
Wow,
if
grabe naman.
he asks me, will you break the law? No, I will not break the law. Bend the law. Pwede.
Ay, dyan magaling nga mga lawyer.
Kaya nga, abogado tayo.
No, but that's why we also wonder whether as an ombudsman, you're going to find ways to bend the law.
No.
I mean,
Ano tayo, the law is clear. Basta mahalaga yung facts at yung evidence. Yun ang mahalaga sa lahat. And the law that applies to the situation.
galing mo naman masyado, nakakalusot ka.